टू द स्पोर्ट्स बॉक्स। आज हम इनसाइड द माइंड ऑफ एन आईपीएल फैन के एक अनदर एपिसोड के साथ आए हैं, जिसमें हम एमआई फैन के साथ आए हैं। एक फैन जो रोहित शर्मा के साथ काफी जुड़े हुए हैं, उनकी बैटिंग पसंद करते हैं, यूनाइटेड फैन भी है, मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड फैन, एमआई फैन। तो विदाउट एनी फर्दर इंट्रोडक्शन, नाम है आदित्य सिन्हा, आदित्य, और इनको हम आदि के नाम से जानते हैं। काफी टाइम हमारे साथ ट्विटर पर इंटरेक्शंस करते हैं। आदित्य, आदि, प्लीज गो अहेड, अपने आप को थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन बताइए। प्लीज बताइए कि आप कैसे एमआई से जुड़े, क्या कहानी है।
Yeah, thank you so much, Puneet Bhai, for the invitation. First of all, on the podcast, it's a pleasure to talk with you and on this forum. And like as you said, matlab introduction, I'm Aditya Sinha, and like I belong from like Jharkhand in India, and I
ये दौड़ा।
Dhoni ka state, but I'm not a
करेक्ट।
Chennai fan. I'm a Mumbai fan, and that is probably because of the fact that I started supporting Mumbai, believe it or not, because of Sachin in 2008. Because at that time, I think Sachin, when I started watching cricket or started hearing about cricket, first of all, he was the biggest name. Or it was just great कि वो जो ल्यूर था मुंबई इंडियंस में about having Jayasuriya and Sachin and those names like at the start. And sometimes it's also got to do with the fact that at that point blue was my favorite color. तो वो भी एक फैक्टर होता है उस टाइम टीम्स चूज करने में. So yeah, that was probably how it began, how I started supporting Mumbai Indians.
बहुत अच्छा है यार। ये तो इंट्रोडक्शन में बोलना चाहिए था मुझे कि यार ये तो थोड़ा एमआई फैन है, तो राइवलरी वही से शुरू हो जाती है, या धोनी के स्टेट से, सॉरी। तो सो श्योर। और थोड़ा रोहित शर्मा की बारे में बताइए, बिकॉज आई नो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ फैंस जो रोहित शर्मा हैं। हाउ डिड यू स्टार्ट फॉलोइंग हिम? सो फर्स्टली ब्यूटीफुल कि सचिन से आपने शुरू किया है, देन हाउ डिड इट बिकम लाइक ओके रोहित की बैटिंग, एंड देन उसकी वो ही स्टार्टेड विद डेक्कन चार्जर्स, फिर वो एमआई में आए। सो व्हाट वाज द
Mm.
experience for you there?
Actually, it's just a pure coincidence कि Rohit Sharma is was always my favorite like young player or like the player that I looked up to from a very young age because of his batting style और जिस तरह वो खेलता है. Like honestly, I feel like he's personally my favorite player of all time. So he's the guy that I look up to. I'm not saying he should be everyone's greatest player of all time. It's just that he's my favorite and been that always. But the thing is कि वो एक coincidence है that he actually ended up being at Mumbai, and it's just like a beautiful story that ultimately he got the captaincy, and then वो पांच trophies he got us for us, which built the franchise and like removed that whole trophy drought, that block that had been created उसके पहले, because we were a semi-decent team before that as well with Sachin and like uh, all that. But we still had Malinga. I think Pollard had just come in a season before.
हाँ,
Lekin when Rohit came in, it just like clicked and we changed.
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही बात है यार। रोहित के आने से काफी, एंड दैट कंसिस्टेंसी आल्सो, लाइक आफ्टर ही बिकेम द कैप्टन, वाज प्रीटी विजिबल। तो अच्छी बात है।
Hmm.
उसी बात पर आई थिंक काफी टाइम तक धोनी वाज डूइंग वेल फॉर सीएसके। तो व्हाट, एंड आई नो सीएसके राइवल रहा है, आपके
Hmm.
हिसाब से एमआई जैसे प्रोग्रेशन हुई है ईयर ऑन ईयर, फ्रॉम नाउ रोहित और अब पांड्या कैप्टन है, तो कैसी आपको राइवलरीज लगी हैं? और सीएसके है कि और भी टीम्स बन गई हैं राइवल्स एमआई की?
आई फील इटर्नल राइवल्स तो हमेशा सीएसके ही रहेगी बिकॉज अभी तो रिसेंटली स्टिल लाइक आई थिंक आफ्टर द मेगा ऑक्शन एंड आफ्टर मुंबई काइंड ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग देयर प्लेयर्स, चेन्नई आल्सो काइंड ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग देयर प्लेयर्स ऑल अराउंड द लीग, थोड़ा सा कंपटीशन बढ़ गया है. बट इफ यू टॉक अबाउट लाइक जस्ट टू टीम्स विनिंग 10 out of 13 14 tournaments that happened, right? And like consistently going to the finals on Chennai's part, apart from the 2 years that they got banned. I had to mention that. Apart from that, they have always been there. So it's a definitely a rivalry. I think, of course, now of course there's a edge when Mumbai plays with RCB because RCB has got a big fan base. When Rohit goes to Eden Gardens, it's a good thing to watch. But I think Mumbai Chennai is always the one that I'm looking forward to because I have a lot of Chennai Super Kings fans around me. So like, and we have always clashed ever since we were kids, and that still continues. So it's always the rivalry to look forward to.
बिल्कुल सी बात है। और इतने मतलब फाइनल्स में भी आए हैं, काफी क्वालिफायर्स भी साथ में खेले हैं, तो वो राइवलरी ऑलवेज कीप्स ग्रोइंग आई फील।
Yeah.
इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक वो एक नेक्स्ट जनरेशन ऑफ राइवलरी हो गई है, लाइक विथ रोहित टू पांड्या एंड अब ऋतुराज फॉर
Hmm.
सीएसके। इसी टॉपिक पे लाइक हाउ डू यू see like what have you felt ki has been the most unique thing for MI, apart for compared to other teams, like from a fan perspective and then from a team perspective, क्या रहा है कि exciting रहा है का, क्या unique रहा है आपके लिए?
I think I think a couple of things though like really visible, and I think that have separated Mumbai Indians from everyone else, especially in these successful years. पहला तो कि scouting the young players or that database, मतलब जो
हाँ,
अभी बहुत ज्यादा everywhere it's going viral, like that Mumbai Indians have, and the way that we scouted Bumrah, we scouted Pandya. There's been of course that tournament no longer exists now, but there was a champions trophy or champions league
चैंपियन,
cricket campaign, right? और
करेक्ट।
उस season we have won that twice, and उसमें से एक बार we didn't have Rohit, we didn't have any big names, and there were like domestic players who won that for us, तो international players से compete करके, so of course a lot goes into like getting these guys in from a young age and then giving them the platform to flourish, and actually bigger जो मतलब connection होता है when these guys go on and play for India and become the superstars that they are, like with the likes of Bumrah, Hardik or Surya, or now Tilak Verma growing like going there, and even Ishan Kishan now, of course he's left MI, but he's also a good name that like MI have developed. And of course, I think the bigger factor or the big thing that I like about like MI is the never give up attitude. I don't think कि कोई भी franchise इस चीज में compete कर सकता है with Mumbai, because we have won tournaments when we have lost the first five games in the league campaign. ऐसा एक एक दो बार नहीं होता है. Now this is 13th year concurrently that we have lost consecutively that we have lost the opening game. So yeah, and I'm not panicking at all. क्यों पता है कि this team has got that DNA that it will pick up and it will fire when once the crucial part kicks in. That is there. So these two factors mainly like make it special.
ग्रेट मैन, आपने 13th फर्स्ट मैच की याद दिलाई मुझे। रोहित के 12th और 14th कंसेक्यूटिव टॉसेस की हार की याद। हाँ यार, ये रिकॉर्ड तो काफी। तो उसी में आपके फेवरेट मोमेंट्स कौन से रहे, मोमेंट्स या मैचेस या ऐसे जो चीजें जो आपके माइंड में रहती हैं, हाँ यार ये दिस इज व्हाट विल कैरी फॉर years to together,
Hmm.
right, in the future as well, you'll think हाँ यार इसी ये एमआई को दर्शाता है, ये मेरे लिए सबसे आइकॉनिक मोमेंट
I I always think of MI, and I know कि मतलब और दो matches है which I'll mention, पर सबसे पहले I have to mention this match, and it's ironic because this is a match or this is a season where MI actually didn't win the IPL. This is IPL 2014 and the last
है।
game of the league campaign, and MI versus RR. Both RR is sitting at fourth, MI is fifth, and MI have to not only win that match but win it with a certain run rate to qualify. And RR actually score 194, 195. I think Sanju Samson scored 100 or some good score. I can't remember exactly. और उसके बाद MI had to chase that in 14.1 or 14.2 overs, and we did that. और वो भी जिस स्टाइल में हुआ, I don't know if you remember this match, but वो
आदित्य तरे
जो
वाला है।
आदित्य तरे वाला मैच when actually वो 14 exactly उस बॉल पर scores level हो गया, and now no one knows what's gonna happen. I think I've just seen this instance twice in history. Once तो ये जो IPL मैच में, and one was the 2019 वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल, जब पता कि अब मैच ड्रॉ हो गया, सुपर ओवर क्या होने वाला है. तो वो मोमेंट बहुत स्पेशल था. फिर आदित्य तरे आके जो लाइक directly. He had not batted much at all throughout the tournament, and he comes out and hits that six, and then celebrates, puts his t-shirt up, and celebrates the way that he does. That is iconic. So that, and then the most not the most impressive part, but the most what do you call, the most memorable thing out of all that was Rahul Dravid, who is the most calm guy that I had ever known. Throws
uh,
his cap on the
but
ground, or वो दिखाता था कि that was like passion that was involved. And of course then we
seriously,
got kicked out of the eliminator that season, लेकिन वो crazy था. And then of course I think the other two matches are like the two finals, one versus the purple CSK, and one versus the original CSK, the 2017 and the 2019 finals, when we beat them by 1 run twice. Chase, like defending low totals. Like even I didn't believe, like it happened once, it happened twice. Malinga, Bumrah, their brilliance, like it was just like out of the world feeling to be like win those matches and win those titles. So these matches are like top three matches, I would say, like that I remember off the top of my head.
ग्रेट ग्रेट शाउट यार, बिकॉज आपने आई एम श्योर मेरी एंड जो भी ये पॉड सुनेगा उनकी सबकी यादें ताजा कर दी होगी, बिकॉज द्राविड की जो हुई थी, लाइक द कैप थ्रोइंग थिंग इन हिज
हम्म,
वट एवर 20+ years ऑफ करियर, ही हैज नेवर डन दैट, और क्लोज टू 20 उसने इंडियन, एंड यू इंडिया के साथ आप इवन मोर पैशनेट होते हो, राइट? नॉट दैट ही वाजंट
yeah,
पैशनेट, बट जस्ट दैट लाइक ही हैज नेवर डन एनीथिंग जिसमें उनके चेहरे पे ऐसी ऐसी sort of emotion दिखाया, but to throw a cap in and like in such a big game, and Faulkner था, I remember Faulkner was the bowler, जो एक
yeah,
इंटरनेशनल अमेजिंग मैन, and yeah, and I think मुंबई हमेशा से लो टोटल्स, स्पेशली रोहित की कैप्टनसी के अंडर, तो बहुत लो टोटल्स सेव किए
hmm.
हैं, एंड नॉट ओनली फाइनल्स बट इवन लाइक नॉर्मल मैचेस, बहुत एक ऐसी स्पेशलिटी रही है कि लो टोटल्स अच्छा बचा लेते हैं, एंड T20 तो यार ही इज रियली गुड विद दैट.
Yeah, I think of course he had a really good team at his disposal, but at the same time, Joe's strategy he followed in defending those low totals, in the sense that, like, usually when you're defending low totals, like it's a common like practice ki you go with your best bowlers and try to get the wickets, right? And matlab ki just try and bowl the opposition out. That's the only chance you have while you're like defending 130 odd runs in the final. But I remember he kept 3 overs of Bumrah for the back end, and he kept 2 overs of
Yeah, yeah.
Malinga, and those 5 overs, like there was just no breathing room for them. And like I think Steve Smith's knock and Dhoni's knocks also helped in that RPS final. No, were they called RPS? Yes, I think so. So yeah,
Royals.
Rising Pune Super Giants, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
think. Yeah. So yeah, in those finals, those helped, but I think like the overall strategy and the bowling and the execution, everything was spot on. And yeah, that Dravid one is special because I think they all were celebrating when actually, like I think we needed a couple of runs to win in that last ball, like the ball that we to chase, like to chase down the total within like the 14.2 overs or something like that.
It could be a two as well. It could be a two of this ball now.
So, and I think Raidu uh, got run out, and he just ran a single and went for the double and got run out. And Rajasthan started celebrating because they thought that scores are level. We haven't won within the stipulated like what overspan, so they have qualified. But then all of a sudden, in and he hits a six, and then everyone in the Rajasthan camp is like sad, and the only guy who's fuming is Rahul Dravid. So that was crazy.
दैट इज जेन्युइनली आइकॉनिक एंड कभी कभी नहीं भूलेंगे ऐसे.
Yeah.
इसी बात पर लाइक इफ यू लाइक सिंस इतने सालों से ये आप देख रहे हैं, एंड यू सीन लाइक ट्रांजिशंस, प्लेयर्स कमिंग एंड गोइंग, players
Mm.
playing for your rivals as well, like Michael Hussey abhi recently I figured has played for both. तो have you ever felt any player जो आपको लगा है कि हाँ यार होता है एमआई में during any season or any time that you have
Mhm.
been watching, you have felt that हाँ यार I would have wanted this player to be in my squad, or you know, led my team
Mm.
or whatever?
Yeah, of course. Like I think, matlab, there have been so many great players. MI में, like with that respect, yeah,
So
and
like
like.
two, three top of your head, which you feel.
I of course, like if you talk about IPL and the era, like I used to watch it really passionately. That was the era of Chris Gayle. just mashing everyone out of the park. And I know कि अभी तो बहुत ही it's normal for us to see these totals and people hitting sixes all out of, like over the park and with the impact player rule and everything. Lekin at that time to watch Gale destroy just everyone in his path. So it
Oh,
would
oh.
have been great to see like Gale at Wankhede, because Wankhede is very similar to like Chinnaswamy in that sense that like it's a
Yeah.
flat wicket. So it would have been great to see him. Then of course Raina in his prime years, he was a top IPL. He's an IPL great. Like he's Mr. IPL for me. Like he's always used to
Absolutely, man.
perform. And of course, then you have, of course, Kohli when he was like he scored those 1,000 runs, like 900 odd runs, whatever. Like he was crazy. Then you have De Villiers. Like it's crazy because RCB had all these three guys and they never won a trophy. But like any of these three guys, if any team like I could take for MI, like in their prime, that would be like a huge boost, right? Because they were like crazy in their own rights, all three of them.
फेयर पॉइंट, फेयर पॉइंट। इसी बात पे फिर ये वाले सीजन पे आते हैं। क्या लग रहा है? आई
Mm-hmm.
मीन टीम्स लुक रियली स्ट्रांग हुआ है एंड यू कैन सी काफी अच्छी रिक्रूटमेंट करी है, बाइज अच्छे हैं। क्या लग रहा है ये टीम एमआई की तरफ से, एंड व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज वेयर आर दे गोइंग टू फिनिश?
Yeah, I think MI is a very strong team like this season again. Like, but the only thing that worries me is that I thought the same thing last season as well, and we ended. And I know कि last season वो बहुत सारा controversy था with respect to Rohit and
हाँ।
Hardik and the crowd booing and the environment was not right. But if you just look at the core, right, of the five players that Mumbai have retained, you have got India's captain, you have got
हम्म।
one of you have probably got the world's best bowler, full stop, in
करेक्ट।
Jasprit
या,
Bumrah. You
दैट्स
have
ट्रू।
got India's best all-rounder in Hardik Pandya. If you have got probably one one of, if not the best T20 batsman around the world in Surya, and then you have got one of the better youngsters coming up in Tilak. That is a very, very solid Indian core, and we know that to win the IPL, you need to have a very strong Indian core, and in that with that respect, MI is really, really strong. And of course, they have got these new additions, which I like, Rickelton, and now the guy that took 3 wickets on his debut the other day. I think
हाँ।
Vishak or what was his name? Sorry,
या द
Vignesh Puthur,
चाइना मैन,
right?
पुथुर,
Yeah,
या करेक्ट,
yeah, yeah.
विघ्नेश
He
पुथुर।
looked really good. Then you've got Santner, who's got an extremely like economical like bowling figures. Like he's around seven, and that is great. Like in the modern era for T20s. Then you've got a really good potent like new ball bowler in Deepak Chahar. So the squad is loaded. The only thing I would say about IPL right now is that he, because of this impact player rule and IPL becoming a 12-man sport instead of a 11-man sport, it's very open now. मतलब it's very
करेक्ट।
tough to predict कि कौन जीतेगा और कौन हारेगा. कोई भी जीत सकता है, कोई भी हार सकता है. If this was a 11 normal T20 game, I would say 11 man, a very a more tighter contest between bat and ball and all-rounders were really valued, तो फिर मुंबई would have been far and away favorites मेरे हिसाब से. But now that ये इतना ओपन हो चुकी है, के पास हिटर्स डरता नहीं है मारने, बॉलर्स है, तो सब लोग 250, इट्स वेरी ओपन इन माय ओपिनियन. कोई भी जीत सकता है आईपीएल. मतलब पर्सनली आई डोंट लाइक द इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर रूल इसी कारण से. बट या इट इज व्हाट इट इज एंड आई फील, but still, I would fancy MI जीत सकते हैं. I wouldn't count us out at all.
हाँ यार, बिकॉज आई नाउ दैट यू आर सेइंग, उस दिन ही मैं देख रहा था, ऑल्दो इट वाज चेन्नई पिच एंड स्पिन था, बट लाइक सैंटनर, फिर पुथुर, लाइक अननोन, एंड एमआई हमेशा से, यू आर राइट, लाइक इतने अननोन रिक्रूट्स लाया, लाइक इवन पांड्या, पांड्या की स्टोरी यू नो राइट, लाइक हाउ जॉन राइट, पांड्या नहीं सॉरी, बुमराह, जैसे जॉन राइट ने उनको ढूंढा था। तो एमआई की ये एक चीज बहुत ही हमेशा से, रिक्रूटमेंट और ऐसे अननोन प्लेयर्स लेके आना फ्रॉम द ग्रास रूट्स हैज बीन रियली एक्सेप्शनल। आपका, आई नो आपके रोहित फेवरेट है, हु एल्स हैज बीन द फेवरेट फॉर द लास्ट लाइक 2 3, or not 2 3, like overall favorite sort of set of players in MI that you have always looked up to?
Yeah, we have legends. I think अगर if not of the similar stature, then maybe even a bigger MI legend would be Pollard. जिस
Oh
तरह
yeah,
से he's carried us throughout the IPL years, कितने बार हुआ है that we have faltered and like he's come like deep down lower batting order में और आके given us a respectable total and then came out and bowled a few overs and taken wickets as well. Or he has done it for years and I think कि जैसा he's been doing, I see a few clips now and then of him batting in these other leagues. I don't know why he retired because he could still bat, I feel. But yeah, he's a big legend. You've got Malinga, of course, who's like no questions asked. He was everyone copied Malinga when he was like in his peak. Everyone wanted to be Malinga, just like everyone wants to be Bumrah right now. So yeah, these two guys. You've got Raidu, who
oh
was
yeah,
really underrated, I feel, for Mumbai, right? And
correct.
then some of the underrated players like Lendl Simmons, Parthiv Patel, even for
Mm.
one season was decent for us. He gave us good starts in those situations. And of course, Hardik, Krunal,
Oh
Ishan
yeah,
to a certain
Kronal is
extent.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
feel he's a great addition for us.
फाइनली पूछता हूँ टॉप फोर आपके प्रेडिक्शंस बताइए. सो व्हाट डू यू फील एंड आई थिंक आपने एमआई तो बोला है. व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज this time's table going to look like and who's going to win?
I am predicting, I feel MI will be there top four में.
Okay.
CSK, I think, will be in the top two definitely. Because they have got their squad sorted. They have got spinners. They have got bowlers who can like roll their fingers and give, not give pace. And that is what you need on those wickets at Chepauk. And they're going to be there. They're going to probably win 6 out of 7 matches at Chepauk. And if you do that at your home, you're not going to be stopped. Uh, so they are gonna be there. I feel KKR will be there, and the fourth team might be Hyderabad. I'm not sure of the order, but I'm predicting these four teams to be in the playoffs, and I think Mumbai will win the tournament. Let's let's back
क्या बात
ourselves
है,
to win.
क्या बात है, बिल्कुल. That's how it is supposed to be. And yeah, that's more or less everything. Anything you all want to share, Adi, apart from this overall experience? Thank you so much फिर से time देने के लिए.
It's a it's a
Some
pleasure,
mem
and thank you to you to for inviting me, and it was a like a great conversation and some good memories coming back.
Exactly, हाँ वही वही memories एक हैं. Thank you so much आने के लिए and hope to see you soon. We'll keep doing these and आपसे फिर से मिलते हैं.
Sure, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Puneet. Thank you, Puneet.
Thank you.